Here are the most recent deaths in the national news, as reported at Legacy.com from the end of December 2024 through the first week of January 2025. Legacy.com is where you can find any obituary or publish an obituary in any newspaper in America and beyond. Former President Jimmy Carter died December 29, 2024 at his home in Plains, Georgia at the age of 100. He was the 39th President of the United States, serving from 1977 to 1981. Though his term in office was defined by the energy crisis and the Iran hostage crisis, it was also notable as a time of peace, including his work to negotiate a ceasefire between Israel and Egypt. He is being remembered for his remarkable post-presidency, during which he was a respected diplomat. His Carter Center eradicated the plague of guinea worm disease in much of Africa and South Asia. He built houses with Habitat for Humanity, and he became the first president to write a novel. Carter was a U.S. Navy veteran who served from 1946 to 1953, then remained in the Navy Reserve through 1961. Actress and singer Linda Lavin died December 29, 2024 in Los Angeles. She died of complications from lung cancer at the age of 87. She became a sitcom great when she starred as working mom Alice Hyatt on Alice from 1976 to 1985. Lavin is also being remembered as a Broadway star who won a Tony Award for Broadway Bound and was nominated 5 additional times. Sportscaster Greg Gumbel died December 27, 2024 at his home in Davie, Florida. He died of cancer at the age of 78. He was a longtime fixture of CBS Sports, best known by some for reporting on the March Madness NCAA men's college basketball tournament for 25 years. Gumbel is also being remembered for his football coverage. He was a co-host of the NFL Today, and in 2001 he became the first black sportscaster to call a Super Bowl. Actress Olivia Hussey died December 27, 2024 at her home in Los Angeles. She died of breast cancer at the age of 73. She was best known for her breakout role as Juliet in Franco Zeffirelli's 1968 film adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. Hussey is also being remembered for her performances in such movies as Black Christmas and Death on the Nile. These lives and dozens of others are memorialized in our special 1-hour 2024 In Memoriam video. Join me and senior editor Stephen Siegel as we take you chronologically through the year and say goodbye to the unforgettable people we lost in 2024. Businessman Charles Dolan died December 28, 2024 at the age of 98. He was the founder of Cablevision and HBO, which brought recent movie releases into people's homes without commercials for the first time. Dolan is being remembered as a cable TV visionary. Journalist Aaron Brown died December 29, 2024 at the age of 76. He was the first anchor of CNN's Newsnight, best remembered for his coverage of the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, his first day on air for the news network. Brown is also being remembered for his years on the air as a local anchor in Seattle and on ABC News and PBS. Actor John Capodice died December 30, 2024 at the age of 83. He was known for his roles in movies like Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, Speed, and The Doors. Capodice is also being remembered for TV appearances in Seinfeld, General Hospital, and other shows. Actor Geoffrey Deuel died December 22, 2024 in Largo, Florida. He died after fighting COPD at the age of 81. He co-starred alongside John Wayne in the 1970 Western Chisholm, playing the infamous outlaw Billy the Kid. Deuel is being remembered for his appearances in such TV shows as The Young and the Restless, The Monkees, and Planet of the Apes. Baseball player Lenny Randle died December 29, 2024, at his home in Murrieta, California, at the age of 75. He played in the 1970s and 80s for the Texas Rangers, New York Mets, and others, and he was later dubbed the most interesting man in baseball. Randle is being remembered for unusual incidents like inciting an on-field brawl and trying to blow a ball over the foul line. Veteran Warren Upton died December 25, 2024, at a hospital in Los Gatos, California, at the age of 105. He was a U.S. Navy veteran of World War II and the Korean War. He was stationed aboard the USS Utah when it was bombed in the attack on Pearl Harbor. He was the last surviving crew member of the Utah. Upton is also being remembered as the oldest living Pearl Harbor survivor before his death. World War II veteran Harry Chandler died December 30, 2024, at a senior living facility in Tequesta, Florida, at the age of 103. Throughout his childhood, he dreamed of becoming a sailor, and he made his dream come true when he turned 18 and joined the U.S. Navy. He was serving as a medic at Pearl Harbor when the base was attacked by Japanese forces. He rushed to the aid of sailors who were injured in the attack. Chandler is being remembered as one of the last remaining Pearl Harbor survivors. Radio DJ Johnnie Walker died December 31, 2024, after a battle with lung disease at the age of 79. He rose to fame on the UK offshore pirate radio stations of the 1960s, swinging Radio England and Radio Caroline, before moving to BBC Radio for a decades-long career. Walker is being remembered as a broadcasting legend who championed rock and roll even when higher-ups urged him to tone it down. TV writer and producer Britt Allcroft died December 25, 2024, at the age of 81. She was best known for creating the beloved British children's TV series Thomas and Friends, adapting it from the books in the Railway series. Allcroft is also being remembered as the creator of Shining Time Station for American TV. Actor Angus MacInnes died December 23, 2024, at the age of 77. He played a small but memorable role in the original Star Wars as the Y-Wing pilot Gold Leader. His character returned almost 40 years later in Rogue One as unused footage from the original film was repurposed. MacInnes is also being remembered for playing hockey player Rosie LaRose in the cult classic comedy Strange Brew. Jerry T. Hodges Jr. died December 19, 2024, in Los Angeles at the age of 99. He was a U.S. Army Air Corps veteran who served from 1944 to 1946. He trained as a Tuskegee Airman, though he completed his training after World War II's end and didn't fly in combat. Hodges is being remembered as one of the last surviving Tuskegee Airmen. Filmmaker Charles Shire died December 27, 2024, at a hospital in Los Angeles. He died after a short illness at the age of 83. He wrote and directed popular movies like Baby Boom, Father of the Bride and its sequel, and the 1998 version of The Parent Trap. Shire is also being remembered for his work as a writer on such movies as Private Benjamin and Smokey and the Bandit. Business leader Richard Parsons died December 26, 2024, in New York City. He died of cancer at the age of 76. He led major organizations such as Time Warner, where he notably helped negotiate a successful merger with America Online. Parsons is also being remembered for his work as an advisor to former President Barack Obama and for serving on the boards of the Rockefeller Foundation, the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, and others. Model and actress Dayle Haddon died December 27, 2024 in Solbury Township, Pennsylvania. She died of carbon monoxide poisoning at the age of 76. She appeared on the cover of the 1973 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and was a face of L'Oreal, Revlon, and other well-known brands. Haddon is also being remembered for her appearance in the movie North Dallas 40 and for founding the nonprofit Women Won. Business leader Osamu Suzuki died December 25, 2024 in Hamamatsu, Japan. He died of malignant lymphoma at the age of 94. He was the longtime head of the Suzuki Motor Corporation, serving as its CEO from 1978 until his retirement in 2021. Suzuki is being remembered for his extensive work with India. He brought Suzuki to the country, representing a much-needed update to its automobile market. Musician Wayne Osmond died January 1, 2024 at a Salt Lake City hospital. He died of a stroke at the age of 73. He was a founding member of the Osmond Brothers, the family singing group that found pop music fame in the 1970s as the Osmonds. Osmond is being remembered for his vocals and guitar on hit songs like One Bad Apple and Crazy Horses. Gymnast Ágnes Keleti died January 2, 2025 in Budapest, Hungary. She died after being hospitalized with pneumonia at the age of 103. After having to miss the 1940, 1944, and 1948 Olympics due to World War II and injuries, she competed for the first time in 1952 at age 31 and won a gold medal. She went on to win 4 more golds in 1956. Keleti is being remembered as a Holocaust survivor and the oldest female gymnast ever to win Olympic gold. Singer and songwriter Brenton Wood died January 3, 2025 in Moreno Valley, California. He died of natural causes at the age of 83. He was best known for his 1967 R&B hit, the Oogum Boogum Song. Wood is also being remembered for such songs as Gimme Little Sign and Baby You Got It. Filmmaker Jeff Baena died January 3, 2025 in Los Angeles. He died by suicide at the age of 47. He wrote and directed such movies as The Little Hours and Life After Beth, and he co-wrote the cult classic I Heart Huckabees. Baena is also being remembered as the husband of actress Aubrey Plaza, with whom he frequently worked. Fashion designer Rosita Missoni died January 1, 2025 at her home in Sumirago, Italy at the age of 93. She was the co-founder of the Missoni Fashion House along with her husband. The couple worked together to invent their signature zigzag style of knitwear. Missoni is being remembered for leading the Missoni Home line of home furnishings in later years. Drag performer James Williams, better known as the Vivienne, died January 5, 2025 in Backford, England at the age of 32. The Vivienne won the first season of RuPaul's Drag Race UK and went on to compete in RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars in 2022. The Vivienne is also being remembered for a singing career in dance pop music and for appearing in stage productions of The Wizard of Oz and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. A note to remember, sometimes personal information, such as someone's cause of death, is not announced immediately by their family or the authorities. When a cause of death has not been officially confirmed, we do not report on rumors. Every family has a right to their privacy. Author David Lodge died January 1, 2025 in Birmingham, England at the age of 89. He was best known for his campus trilogy, Changing Places, Small World, and Nice Work, 2 of which were shortlisted for the prestigious Booker Prize. Lodge is also being remembered as a university professor and literary critic. Hockey player, coach, and executive Al MacNeil died January 5, 2025 in Calgary, Alberta at the age of 89. He led the Montreal Canadiens to Stanley Cup victory as a rookie coach in 1971, later helping the team to 2 more cups as director of player personnel. MacNeil is also being remembered for his years as head coach and as an executive for the Calgary Flames, who won a Stanley Cup in 1989 while he was assistant general manager. Activist Mike Rinder died January 5, 2025 in Palm Harbor, Florida. He died of esophageal cancer at the age of 69. After many years as a high-ranking member of the Church of Scientology, he left the organization and became one of its most prominent critics. Rinder is being remembered as the co-host of the Emmy Award-winning docuseries Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath. Baseball player Bob Veale died January 5, 2025 in Birmingham, Alabama at the age of 89. He was a left-handed pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 1960s and 70s who helped his team to victory in the 1971 World Series. Veale is being remembered for his blazing fastball and his skill as a strikeout artist. Baseball player Brian Matusz died January 7, 2025 at the age of 37. He was a left-handed pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles in the 2000s and 2010s. Matusz is being remembered as one of Baltimore's starters who loved engaging with the fans. Musician and songwriter Peter Yarrow died January 7, 2025 at his home in New York City. He died of bladder cancer at the age of 86. He was a member of the folk trio Peter, Paul, and Mary, known for 1960s hits like Leaving on a Jet Plane, If I Had a Hammer, and Lemon Tree. Yarrow is being remembered for writing and co-writing many of the group's songs, including their enduring favorite Puff the Magic Dragon. On January 1, 2025, 14 people were killed when a truck was driven into a crowd of people in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Their names are Karim Badawi, Tiger Besh, Drew Dauphin, Nakira Cheyenne Dido, William DeMaio, Hubert Gothrow, Reggie Hunter, Terrence Kennedy, Nicole Perez, Edward Pettifer, Latasha Polk, Brandon Taylor, Matthew Tenedorio, Elliot Wilkinson. At least 5 people have died in the wildfires in Los Angeles County this week. As of this recording, their names have not yet been released to the public. This is a developing situation, and the details may change quickly in the coming days. In addition to featuring current deaths in the news, Legacy.com also honors the lives and legacies of notable people who died in the past. Here are some anniversaries from the past 2 weeks. 5 years ago this week, musician Neil Peart died at the age of 67. He was the drummer and primary lyricist for Rush, known for songs like Tom Sawyer and Limelight. 5 years ago this week, actor and filmmaker Buck Henry died at the age of 89. He wrote and co-wrote movies like The Graduate and Heaven Can Wait, and he was a regular Saturday Night Live host in the show's early years. 10 years ago this week, singer and songwriter Andre Crouch died at the age of 72. He was a giant of gospel music who wrote such songs as My Tribute, To God Be the Glory, and won 7 Grammy Awards across 20 years. 20 years ago last week, actor and singer Jerry Orbach died at the age of 69. He was a Tony Award-winning Broadway star, also known for his performances in movies and TV shows like Law and Order, Dirty Dancing, and Beauty and the Beast. 26 years ago this week, actor Iron Eyes Cody died at the age of 94. Though he was of Italian descent, he played many Native American roles in movies and on TV, most memorably in a 1970s public service announcement in which he shed a tear about pollution. 30 years ago this week, actor and comedian Peter Cook died at the age of 57. He was best known as half of a comedy duo with Dudley Moore, appearing in movies and TV shows like Not Only But Also and Bedazzled. 50 years ago last week, actor and singer Tex Ritter died at the age of 68. He was a singing cowboy in Western movies and had hit singles like I'm Wasting My Tears on You and You Two-Timed Me One Time Too Often. Musician, songwriter, and actor David Bowie was born 78 years ago this week. He died in January 2016, 9 years ago this week, at the age of 69. He reinvented himself over and over throughout his career with hit singles including Space Oddity, Fame, and Let's Dance. Singer and actor Elvis Presley was born 90 years ago this week. He died in August 1977 at the age of 42. He was known worldwide as the King of Rock and Roll, whose many #1 hits included Hound Dog, Are You Lonesome Tonight, and Suspicious Minds. Actor Bob Denver was born 90 years ago this week. He died in September 2005 at the age of 70. He was best known for his sitcom roles in The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis and Gilligan's Island. Every week in the United States, flags are lowered to half-staff to honor the lives of Americans whose communities are mourning their loss. Here are the most recent half-staff memorial flag honors. Flags across the United States have been lowered to honor the memory of James Earl Carter Jr., the 39th President of the United States. Flags in Louisiana have been lowered to honor the memory of the victims of the Bourbon Street attack. Flags in Mississippi have been lowered to honor the memory of Nakira Dido and Matthew Tenedorio, who lost their lives in the terror attack in New Orleans. Flags in New Jersey have been lowered to honor the memory of William Billy DeMaio, who died in the New Year's Day terrorist attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Flags in Alabama have been lowered to honor the memory of Kareem Badawi and Drew Dauphin, victims of the January 1st terrorist attack. Flags in Alabama have also been lowered to honor the memory of Lieutenant Mark Meadows of the Irondale Police Department, who died in the line of duty. Flags in Ohio have been lowered to honor the memory of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction Officer Andrew Lansing and former State Senator Ben Espy. Flags in Wisconsin have been lowered to honor the memory of former state senators Tim Cullen and George Petak. Flags in South Dakota have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Supreme Court Justice Robert Bob Amundson. Flags in Wyoming have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Representative Frank Peasley. Flags in Michigan have been lowered to honor the memory of former State Representative James Jim McBride. Flags in Florida have been lowered to honor the memory of former Governor Buddy McKay. You can read more about the lives of the people featured in this video on Legacy.com. At Legacy.com, any family can publish an obituary in honor of a loved one's memory, online and in local newspapers everywhere. Just visit Legacy.com and select your local community. You can also follow Legacy.com on Facebook and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube to stay up to date on national news deaths.